If you're stressed about AI replacing you, or you're 17 and mad that you won't even get the chance to be replaced, this lesson is for you. No computer skills required.
Chill, Vibe Cobra.
Vibe Cobra here. Welcome to Vibe Coding Lesson 1. 6 sections, no fluff. We're going to use a video game and a web browser to explain how software works. Then you'll use AI to build your first app in less than 5 minutes using plain English. No computer experience required. Let's go.
Vibe coding is fun, yes, vibe coding is fun.
This story starts with a video game called Skyrim VR. Fixing Skyrim taught me about computers, but the programming principles are the same for websites, productivity apps, enterprise software, etc. I'm demonstrating vibe coding with Skyrim because that's how I learned, and everyone knows what video games are. The point is that I was determined to slay virtual dragons and pursue a steamy romance with Serana the vampire without throwing up. When you install any program on your device, whether that's Skyrim, the Chrome browser, or a smartphone app, your device is mostly doing the same thing each time. It's creating folders and placing files inside them. Installation is mostly organized copying. Steam is a digital store and installation manager for PC games. When you buy Skyrim through Steam and hit install, Steam creates folders on your hard drive and copies over the files the game needs to run. Let's take a closer look at the main folder. One of the most important files is the Skyrim exe file, the executable file. Inside the main folder is the data folder, which contains many of the game's assets, like graphics, sounds, models, and other data. Double-clicking the executable file launches the game. The executable contains the instructions that run the game engine, which then loads the necessary files from the data folder to build the game world in real time as you play. If you peek inside the data folder, you'll see many different types of files. For example, Skyrim ESM and Dawnguard ESM are like large databases of game information. They contain things like characters, quests, dialogue, items, and world data. Dawnguard ESM contains much of the content related to Serana, and if we're honest, that's who I really care about. The BSAIA files are archives that store game assets. Mesh files define the shape of objects and characters, while texture files define their visual appearance, like skin, clothing, and surfaces. Don't worry if the file names look confusing. Most of you know what an HTML file is. Well, ESM and BSAIA files are just different file types that contain different data from HTML files. Skyrim's executable can't read HTML files, but it reads ESM and BSAIA files to build the game world. The main point of this section is that installing software is mostly about placing organized files onto your device. The program's executable uses those files to create the experience you see on screen, whether it's a video game, a web page, or enterprise software. We'll talk more about folders and files in the sections to come, so it will make sense.
Vibe coding is fun, yes, vibe coding is fun.
Now that you understand what an executable file does and what a data folder is, let's talk about modding Chrome. You've probably installed a Chrome extension before, maybe an ad blocker, a dark mode tool, or a password manager. What you may not have realized is that you were modding your browser. You were adding new instruction files to an existing program. That's modding. You modified the standard Chrome software. A typical Chrome installation is more dispersed than Skyrim. Its data goes into 2 folders instead of 1. The first folder contains Chrome exe, the file with the icon that launches the browser. The second folder is where your personal data lives, your bookmarks, your history, and your extensions. When you install an ad blocker like uBlock Origin, Chrome creates a brand new folder inside that extensions directory and drops all of uBlock's files into it. A folder that didn't exist before gets created. So remember, software is organized instructions where multiple files talk to each other to present what you see and hear from the computer. And now you know how to add to it.
Vibe coding is fun, yes, vibe coding is fun.
Now back to my personal vibe coding journey. Let's revisit Skyrim. Now imagine being in VR and seeing this. Skyrim was stuttering all over the place and the picture quality was garbage. That's why I almost threw up. To fix the problem, I asked Google Gemini what to do. It suggested I edit something called a configuration file. The real name of the file is SkyrimPrefs.ini. At the time, I had no idea what that was, but a configuration file is just a text file full of settings. You can use the Notepad app to open it. The code inside looks something like this. That first line controls shadow quality when playing Skyrim. That second line controls how dense the grass is across the entire game world. Remember those texture and asset files we looked at earlier in the Skyrim folder? The config file is telling the PC how much stuff to load for shadows and grass. The higher the number for both settings, the harder the computer has to work. High shadow resolution means your PC is rendering incredibly detailed shadows. Dense grass means thousands of individual grass assets being drawn at once. My settings were too much for my budget PC to handle. Gemini suggested lowering both values. I opened the file in Notepad, lowered 2 numbers, saved it, and relaunched the game. Skyrim went from unplayable to playable. My PC survived, I survived, and my highly professional vampire courtship could begin. That's the lesson. 2 numbers in a plain text file. That's all it took. Small changes to a program can make enormous differences. That's how the learning journey begins. You understand that apps and programs are organized instructions, and you learn by modifying the easy files first.
Vibe coding is fun, yes, vibe coding is fun.
Now we get to the fun stuff. You're going to build your first app in 5 minutes or less. We're going to use a model called Claude. Many of you have already heard of it. So go to the website Claude AI. To interact with it, talk to it like a person. It answers your questions and also writes code back. That's all there is to it. In our previous sections, we covered files, folders, executables, config files. You've been learning how software is organized instructions living inside organized folders. Well, we're going to create the instructions from scratch using plain English. That's the very definition of vibe coding, coding in human language. I'm going to give you a hyperlink. Go there, copy the text you find, and paste it into Claude AI. That text is called a prompt. It's just a very detailed description of an app we want to build. Claude is going to read that description and write the actual code. The same kind of code that runs your Chrome browser. The same kind of code that runs Skyrim. Hit enter and watch what happens. Claude just wrote you an app, a real one. That's yours. You'll see a download button appear on the code block. Click it. Your browser will save an HTML file onto your hard drive, just like how Steam copied Skyrim EXE onto my hard drive. Same idea. Now find that file. Double-click it. Welcome to the Vibe Launcher, your personal swamp-powered file launcher, built by you in about 3 minutes. If your screen doesn't look exactly like mine, ask Claude for help on launching the app. This is the first step towards a shortcut hub. A hub where you can easily organize your most important stuff, no digging through folders. Go ahead and click around on your new app. You've got a sidebar with categories. You can add shortcuts to files, folders, anything on your PC. Star your favorites. You made this, and it was incredibly easy. As an example, I've created a new category called Hard Drive and added my main drive, the C drive. But you can personalize your app.
Vibe coding is fun, yes, vibe coding is fun.
If you've made it this far, it would mean a lot if you liked this video and subscribed. It's completely free. This is a brand new channel, and every new like and subscriber genuinely helps. My Ko-Fi link is also below. Any support goes directly back into making more of these videos. Thanks for watching. Quick tip, there is a very helpful tool called Google Notebook where you can paste my video link and then ask the AI, Google Gemini, questions. This is great if you want clarification or want to quiz yourself. I'll leave the links to my Vibe Launcher prompt, Claude, and Google Notebook down below. Now on to the next section. Congratulations, you made an app. Now don't get cocky. This app is labeled Vibe Launcher, but it's not technically a launcher yet. Your app won't launch exe files. This is because of PC security. Your computer doesn't want to make it easy to spread viruses. Your app may open image and text files depending on the permission settings on your PC. In a future video, we'll make this app into a real launcher by using a programming language called Python. At this point, I'm going to leave you with some homework. First, read the prompt I gave you. If you don't understand it, ask Claude. The great thing is that you can ask all the questions you want. Second, revise your app. I'm guessing the Florida man look isn't your thing. Take a screenshot of a website you like, upload it to Claude, and tell it to redesign your app to match that style. And that's not just beginner homework, that's exactly how experienced vibe coders work too. Finally, if you really want to challenge yourself, ask Claude to guide you on how to use Python to make your app into a real launcher. When you've done your homework, show what you created in the comment section. I want to see what you built. See you in the next video.